So I just got laid off today. I think it was about 3 hours ago. It sucks. I really enjoyed working for this company and it gave me a lot of flexibility and it was great, especially because I have a 1-year-old son. But I'm gonna take this weekend to process and then get back into job hunting, maybe take my making TikTok content more seriously. Yeah, so I'll probably be posting my journey. I've reached out to recruiting companies, will update my resume, do all of that. But if any of you have any tips or tricks or how to navigate this market right now, that'd be super helpful. But right now I'm gonna go to the park and enjoy the day with my son. So, all right, bye.
I love how jobs will basically fire you or let you go and then still expect you to do work. Like, I was asked to create a document of everything that I do, basically teaching other people what my job was so they can do it and I can be let go. Like, no, I'm not doing work. I'm gonna bill my time as if I was doing the work, but no, I'm not gonna do it. So you screwed me over, so I'm gonna screw you over. You wanted to take my job away and have other people do it, so no, you're not getting that document from me, so good luck.
I got laid off from my job today, and all my friends that I told me that I manifested it. The funny thing about this is that I know I manifested it. Every single time that I'm ready to start looking somewhere else, the universe is like, okay, and then pushes me out. And the even funnier thing is if you actually scroll down and you look for a video of me crying, I literally, this just happened to me last April. If you're not ready for a big move, watch what you say.
So I was recently laid off. This was truly a blessing in disguise, y'all. It's so crazy because I took 2 years off from corporate, which I actually recently spoke about. I went back to corporate towards the end of last year and got laid off within less than a year. This was actually my first time being laid off. And so it did come as a bit of a shock to me. However, this was truly a blessing in disguise, y'all, for a number of reasons. One being I haven't been feeling my best physically over the past few months. And so this unexpected pause really came at a time that allowed me to come to a complete stop, fully focus on myself and my healing. And y'all, the divine timing and alignment, this is why I say, my God, don't play about me. God, don't play about me, son. I will say though, my career, it has been such a roller coaster. But I'm choosing to trust God through it all. And I'm praying for patience, praying for the ability to continue waiting well as I figure out what my next steps are. And in the meantime, I am focusing on my health, the things that bring me joy, and leaning into my gifts, trusting that they will open doors that I can't even see yet. We are living in some crazy times, okay? So if you are seeing this and you've also been laid off, or perhaps you are trusting God during an uncertain season, you are in good company, okay? We are in this together. I see you, I feel you. Layoffs are happening across companies, across industries, but I'm choosing to trust God even when I can't trace his steps. And as cliche as it sounds, when one door closes, another one does open. Trying to keep that top of mind and also recalling that God is always in the blessing business. You feel me? So I hope this encourages you if it is something that you can relate to. Otherwise, feel free to share this with someone who might need this reminder as well. I'm going to be posting another video where I share 3 tips that have really helped me navigate the season. So stay tuned for that. Salud.
Okay, get ready with me to give you an update. I'm getting laid off. I did not mean to leave some of you guys hanging on that last video. I did get laid off. Like 10 minutes after I finished filming that video, I hopped on the call and was let go. And it felt just as icky as I thought it was going to. I spent the rest of my Friday not as calm and cool and collected as I was in that video. I was very upset. I think I was not prepared fully for how, I don't know what other word to use besides icky it feels to get laid off. Discarded almost. Like it, to go from being trusted, high performing employee literally the day before to, you know, completely discarded, cold emails, cold call, access shut off. It's jarring. It's a shock to the system. And I think on Friday, my body tried to bypass feeling the icky feelings, and my brain just went into problem solving mode. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna fix this? What's my next move? I have to figure this out right now, today. And it was a lot. I feel like my fellow eldest daughters and overachieving, hyper-independent girlies will get this, but when you grow up and kind of get your sense of self and validation from academic achievements, I feel like you then grow up getting that validation through work. And your sense of self comes from being good at work and being a high performer, and your career achievements and your career milestones become very rooted in your identity. So then when something like this happens, it doesn't just feel icky because, you know, you're leaving a job, but it feels icky because it feels like an attack on your identity and your sense of self and your sense of worth. And I know my logical mind is like, that's not true, but there's, you know, that voice, that little girl who is like, I get so much love and attention when I come home with a straight A report card, who is freaking out when something like this happens. And it's hard to ignore that voice sometimes. I also think I was feeling all the feels because this job feels very connected to a specific time in my life. When I first got this job, it was around the same time that I got my first big girl apartment by myself. I had lived on my own, but with roommates, and it was just a very transformative period of my life. I was totally on my own. I feel like I made this new group of friends that was all my own through work. And it was just a time of a lot of growth, like in my career, in my personal life, in friendships, relationships. And so this feels like kind of the end of an era. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think I'm ready for that, but it's sad. Like I wanted to honor that. So anyways, Saturday and Sunday, I felt a lot better. I kind of really let myself feel those things, process them. I wasn't so hyper-focused on figuring out what the hell I'm going to do next. And got a lot of support from my family, my friends, my coworkers. Everyone was so nice and down to help. And it just made me realize I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. I was also blown away by the support I got on the first video I posted. I was not expecting anyone to see that or care. And the amount of comments I got, I've read them all, just telling me everything's going to be okay, and everyone telling their own stories about how they ended up in a better spot and giving advice and just being so supportive, seriously made me emotional. It was so nice. And dare I say, it made me kind of excited for this next chapter. I was reading through them Sunday night and I was like, wow, it's going to be okay. It's a little scary, but it's going to be okay. One comment I saw really connected with me, and it said to feel everything fully and keep connecting with people. And I didn't realize how much that video was going to connect with others and how connected it would make me feel with strangers on the internet. But I don't know, I just thought that was great advice. And I mean, all of you guys were giving great advice. It was honestly a treat to read all your comments, but I don't really know what's next. And I'm going to give myself some grace figuring that out. I don't have to have it all figured out right now. But yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. I don't know what's next.
Hi, yes, in case you need a reminder of how the job market is these days, this is the first time since I was 18 years old I have been without a job. Keep in mind, I'm 29. And the reason for that is because I moved states and couldn't take my last job with me. I've applied to hundreds of jobs since I learned I was going to be moving, and I've been getting interviews, but no one has bitten so far. And this week and next week, I have had officially 7 interviews scheduled. I had one a few days ago that they said I did really well. They were looking for personality rather than experience, and then I still got denied the next day, even though they said they liked my personality. I had another one about 30 minutes ago that honestly I think went really well. They basically confirmed I'm gonna make it to the next round, We'll see what happens there. I have 2 more interviews scheduled for today, and then I have 3 next week, 2 of them being on the same day, again. Ah! I just need someone to hire me. I'm going stir crazy. I'd love to be doing anything at this point, and this job market is a nightmare.
So the 2025 job market, what a shit show. I've been seeing a lot of recruiters on here and hiring managers create content. I have been mainly silent because I don't have any value to add, or at least I didn't think I did. I came across something today that I went, okay, enough's enough. We're hearing a lot about, of course, the ATS systems, people's resumes not getting through. We're hearing a lot about, 6, 7 interviews, with a panel of 10 people, and then people going ghost, low salaries, low hourly wages. Well, hi, my name is Sarah. I have 15 years experience in the staffing and recruitment industry. We're seeing all kinds of weird shit, let me tell you. And again, I refrained from even getting involved because I've just been seeing a ton of terrible advice, just regurgitated stuff that is no value to anyone. I've been in the industry since the crash of 2008, so I've seen all kinds of creative situations on how to, marry a hiring manager with an employee. Today, we're just not sitting there. But today I found a whole new low. Let's take a little peek-see here. I would do my green screen, but I know we're not supposed to do that right now. So we're just going to have to bear with me here. So on Indeed, they're hiring. In case you're interested in the title of VP of Talent Acquisition. For, oh, you're going to love this salary. Volunteer. Yep, hiring managers now and corporations are now asking you to volunteer your time for a VP executive talent acquisition. Volunteer. Here's another one that popped up today. Volunteer opportunity, talent acquisition specialist, minimum 5 years experience, with a laundry list of a job description. There's another one down here. They're all 1099s now. Commission only. So I think my advice is mainly to, hiring managers and corporations, just stop. Just stop. Yeah. Oh, here's another one. A regional director of recruitment. You can work remote though. 15 hours. You only have to volunteer 15 hours of your time to have this job title. Isn't that fun? Come on now.
I need these companies to stop wasting my time, okay? Stop wasting my time. It is beyond disrespectful. It is annoying. It is frustrating. You're just wasting your time and my time. Like, what is the point of this? Because I just had my first interview post getting my offer rescinded. And if you guys are new here and you don't know, I accepted a job offer. And everything was confirmed. Background check went through. References check went through. Computer was shipped out. All those things. And right before I was supposed to start, the company goes through restructuring. And my role was eliminated before I could even start. Yeah, I know. Frustrating, annoying, angry, everything. I'm trying my best to move on, okay? Trying my best to move on. But I had a second round interview today, and this is actually my second round interview because I did the first round interview the same week that I received the job offer that rescinded. And when I did the first round interview, I thought we were vibing. The conversation was going well. It seems like they were a great fit for me. I was a great fit for them. I had the experience. We were laughing, da-da-da. And then the salary question comes. And anytime someone asks me my salary range, I always throw it back on them and I say, is there like a budget that you're working with for someone in this role, in this position? Because I would hate to lowball myself, but I would also hate to X myself out of the running for a candidate if I like overshot, when a lot of like budgets, in my opinion, and salary is like negotiable. Like everything's negotiable depending on the benefits, depending on PTO, like all of that, right? So she tells me, yeah, there is a budget that we have in mind. Unfortunately, we're not going to be sharing it today in today's conversation. But I will say this, whoever is hired will get a raise in 6 months, based on performance. And she just leaves it at that. So she says, okay, well, can I get your salary range? I said, okay, whatever. That was a little weird, but I still gave her my salary range. And I know for a fact my salary range was more than fair, okay? Like more than fair. Like if I can go into details, it was more than fair. Like I'm talking, it was less, like I lowballed myself compared to other companies I was asking for, compared to what the job offer was that I did receive, compared to what I was making from the job that laid me off. Like, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. Not trying to compare. So I just was like, let me just kind of lowball myself a little bit. Let me just get in the door. There's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. Like I just need to get in the door, right? So I was willing to like work with the salary range that I stated, even though I know I'm worth more than that. But whatever, right? That's neither here nor there. And when she tells me, she's like, yeah, well, we're significantly under. So I said, okay, no problem. I understand. I get it. I'm thinking the conversation is going to end there. I'm thinking she's going to be like, okay, this candidate is not for us because we cannot afford her. She told us her range and we cannot afford her. Do you think the conversation ended there? No, it didn't. So they end up moving me on to the second round. And in the email, they said, we're going to move you on to the second round despite the salary discrepancy and whatever. So I said, okay, that's a little weird, but you know me, I want to see things out. So I said, let me just see, because at this point I'm curious, because if you're saying I'm significantly like over than what you guys can afford, like how over am I? Because like I said, there's always room for negotiation, and everyone's opinion of over is different, or out of range is different. So I'm like, if it's just like a couple, like we can kind of make something work. Y'all, I get on that interview, and right before we get off that call today, he asks me if we talked about salary, and I said, yeah, we did. You know, she did tell me like the range that I had was more than what you guys were like trying to like spend. Do you mind sharing what that range was? Guys, this range was $40,000. $40,000. We're not even in the same ballpark, okay? Like, not even in the same ballpark. And you know what blew my mind is that in that job listing and in that conversation, you know what they said? They wanted someone with 2 to 3 years of media experience. They wanted someone who has worked with political marketing, political campaigns before, someone that has Google search experience, someone that has social experience. All these things that they listed, you're not going to get somebody for that amount with that experience. Like, you're just not. You could probably get someone at $40,000 that's fresh meat, right out of college, doesn't know no better, still trying to get a job in this job market. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to get someone at that rate with the experience that you're looking for. So now I'm starting to realize there are so many jobs that are out here wanting you to do 2,500 tasks and have 2,500 requirements, but can't afford for what they require. How does that work? How does that work? Can someone please explain that to me? Because this is not the first job that I've seen that's like that. And when I see jobs like that, I don't even bother applying, because like I said, no need to waste my time and no need to waste the company's time. But this time it was Uno reverse, clearly, and they just wasted my time, because you know I stated what my salary range was. And I stated like pretty much in that first round interview, she asked me, why did I ask that? Like, why did I say that was my salary range? And I went into details on what I thought I could bring to her company based on what she told me they needed and based on my own experience. So that's what I thought. That's what I thought. And whether you agree with it or not, so what? But don't waste my time if you know you're not even in the ballpark nor nowhere near the range that I said. Like, genuinely, I don't even understand. It's like I have to call, like, did they just waste my time? Did they just waste my time? So I'm not sure if they're going to like come up. I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated if they come up on their salary. But I know this right now. If they send a job offer to me for that amount of money, I'm not doing it. Because I'm going to work like a dog for pennies, essentially, if you ask me. Like that, mind blown. Like, never a dull moment. Truly, my mind is blown.
I'm unemployed. I received my layoff notice 2 months ago. Today was my last day on the job. I'm officially unemployed. I've been applying for jobs for the past 2 months. I've had a couple of interviews, but no job lined up as of yet. I'm excited, but also like, how am I gonna make money? So I guess I'm gonna start posting videos online now, and I'm gonna like try to do this thing, and I'll document my unemployment journey, because why not? It's not like I have anything better to do. So I'm back on TikTok. Woohoo!
Very much looking like what I've been through, but I just need to vent. I am a RIFT federal employee, so I was laid off on April 1st. I'm a public health analyst. I have a master in public health. This is what I've committed my life to, being a public servant, and it's gotten me laid off. Insane. I've applied to over 100 jobs. I've heard nothing back from any of them other than rejections, not one interview. And people just keep saying, oh, keep looking up, keep pushing forward, keep showing up every day. To what? This government doesn't even believe that we deserve basic human rights. Public health is being dismantled every single day, piece by piece, block by block. What am I looking forward to? There's no light at the end of any tunnel. And now I'm gonna have to go on unemployment. What the hell?
A few weeks ago, I lost my job for the second time in under a year, and now I'm 27. I live in LA. I have a few months worth of savings to figure this out, and I decided that I'm going to take a risk. Instead of fully jumping into job applications, I'm giving myself 6 months to completely reset my life, because honestly, nothing in my world feels aligned right now. Not my closet, not my home, definitely not my career. And losing 2 jobs back to back just left me drained and really questioning whether I was even capable of what I was going after. I moved to LA to work in the entertainment industry because I thought it would help me fulfill my creative dreams. And while I still think there is a place for me here, I've definitely been playing it safe. And I know that if I keep doing what's expected, I'm never going to get to where I want to be. So I'm going to bet on myself and rebuild from the ground up before this window closes. My goals cover a full month's worth of living expenses without a traditional job to prove that I can sustain myself, grow this community to 10,000 people who also care about personal style and self-discovery, and get aligned with my personal style through how I dress, live, and show up every day. It's going to be a busy summer, but I'm all in because I have to be. Starting tomorrow, I'll be breaking down exactly how I plan on doing everything step by step. So if you're in the middle of a reset too, I hope this helps. Let's rebuild together.
Right on the heels of National Nurses Week, New York Presbyterian Hospital has announced its plans to lay off about 2% of its workforce, which equates to about 1,000 employees. Don't know yet exactly what the breakdown of those employees is going to be, but we do know that it includes nurse practitioners and nurses. They are allegedly laying off all of their nurse practitioners except the ones that were hired before 2010, and have allegedly already laid off 50 RNs from the Columbia campus, from what I'm told. But are they not still building a new cancer center and like enlarging another hospital? But they're citing financial difficulties. Why? Why are they having financial difficulties? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. Last week, Columbia University and New York Presbyterian Hospital announced that they have settled a massive class action lawsuit for $750 million involving 576 patients that have accused an OBGYN by the name of Dr. Robert Hayden of sexually assaulting them between 1987 and 2012. But wait, it gets worse. According to federal investigators, Columbia University knew about this for years and years and continued to allow the OBGYN to work for years as patients continued to come forward. Finally, in 2020, federal investigators began investigating, and they have alleged that Columbia University failed to inform the DA when more patients continued to come forward and that they withheld evidence. And to date, as far as anyone knows, no one with Columbia University and New York Presbyterian, none of the employees there have been terminated or resigned in the wake of this. He was finally sentenced in 2023 to 20 years in federal prison, thank goodness. But Columbia University, they have not had to admit any fault whatsoever. But they're now paying out $750 million in settlements while they let him continue to do harm, to actively harm patients. And now, as the trickle-down effect, nurses and nurse practitioners and other healthcare professionals are being laid off. If that doesn't piss you off. The epitome of corruption. And this is not an isolated incident. Stuff like this happens all the time. They always cover it up, especially when it's a doctor.
Well, I think this recent headline in Bloomberg, the AI hiring pause is officially here, says it all about the current state of corporate America. We knew this time was coming. All the layoffs up until this point were purely financially motivated, right? Whether even they had a poor quarter or a good quarter and they just wanted to improve the bottom line. Now I think we're going to start seeing the first of the AI movement, even if it's not perfect, right? I think that you see some of the stories coming out of Microsoft that they used AI to basically decide who was getting let go this time, and it purely was algorithmic, right? Their good performance reviews didn't matter. It was money and layers and who knows what they built into that. But the bigger story is other companies are going to follow suit. They always wait for one to lead the cause, and now Microsoft is started this trend, and it's unfortunately not a good trend for anybody involved, but especially Gen Xers. So just a friendly reminder, if you're comfortable in corporate, don't get too comfortable because, like I've told you before, you have an expiration date. It just may be coming a little bit quicker. And I think the other downside of this is you're going to see hiring slow down dramatically, which I think it already has. So if your 6, 9, 12-month job search is now going to be, probably 3 months longer, depending on what you're looking for. So always good to have a plan B. And if you're still in corporate, good luck.